All right, so we're going to finish everything up today by recapping some football picks, and then we're going to go into this week's football picks, give you the best bets and picks for this week because we're both going to kill it. But yeah, let's jump right in. We did 5 college football, 5 NFL. We both did different things, so let's just start off from the top. Indiana beat Nebraska.
Beat the shit out of Nebraska.
Yeah, I picked Indiana. I thought it was going to happen just like that, I have to say.
I was an idiot. I picked Nebraska.
It happens.
Never picking Nebraska. If I ever pick Nebraska in a game this year.
Remind you that Dylan Crayola's not that dude, apparently.
He's a freshman, Alex. Relax. Just Indiana Rourke's that dude, even though he got hurt.
Yeah.
But he got hurt when it was like 28-7.
All right, Alabama lost to Tennessee. That was a surprise.
I got it wrong, but I was never been happier. Besides the last time Alabama lost, to have one wrong.
I got it wrong as well. Didn't pick it, or didn't think it was going to happen, but it happened.
Alabama they need Nick Saban.
Yeah. Michigan at Illinois. I picked the Fighting Illini.
Yeah, I picked Michigan. This is another one. If I ever pick Michigan again in the game this year, Alex, slap the shit out of me. They just suck.
So that was one of the things where I said they have quarterback issues. You said that they control the game and they run the ball, and they do. This time, Illinois with Luke Altmaier had what it took to take them down.
Sucks.
LSU versus Arkansas. They did what they had to do. They won by a wide margin, covered 3 points.
Probably their best, most complete game of the year.
I agree.
Tied for first place now in the SEC.
And we both got it right.
We both got it right.
Props
and then let's move on to the game of the week coming in. Georgia at Texas, and the Bulldogs put a good old ass whooping. Texas tried to make a little comeback, but Georgia held on 30-15. The Bulldogs win at UT. I got it right, Alex. You got it wrong.
Womp womp. I went 3-2 on college football.
I went 2-3.
So it doesn't really matter.
I very much needed Georgia to win.
Yeah, you're right. Let's move on to the NFL. Texans at Packers. Packers just straight up won this game at home. They did what they do at home typically.
Kicked the field goal to win the game.
And they won.
I like that they had the white out uniforms, white helmets, white pants.
It was a good looking uniform. Jordan Love is a great replacement for Aaron Rodgers in that team. So
yeah, somehow the Packers, they managed that better than anybody's ever managed a Hall of Fame quarterback leaving. I wish the Saints had that kind of foresight.
Yeah, but they just have foreskin, it seems. Let's move on to the next game. Lions at Vikings. I thought Sam Darnold was going to remain heavy in the MVP hunt, which he's not far behind now. But Lamar Jackson's taking a demanding presence. They lost to the Lions.
Yeah, I picked the Lions in this. Yep. I was nervous.
Vikings it was a good game.
Vikings got off to a 10-point lead, then Lions came back, took a lead, then Vikings came back, took a lead, and then, as you said, Lions kicked a late field goal to win it. Good game. Good road win for the Lions.
Those are the picks that you don't mind getting wrong either way because it's not like a complete blowout that you missed.
I think everybody likes the Lions a little bit.
And the Vikings have that respect.
Yeah, I agree.
Definitely. 6-1 Lions. What are the Vikings? Or the Vikings are 6-1. The Lions are what, 5-2? Something like that.
I believe so.
Chiefs at 49ers. Chiefs did what we expected.
Shout out Clara because I was picking the 49ers. She picked the Chiefs in this, so I went with her.
Shout out my theory that you just bet on the Chiefs until they lose.
Just pick the Chiefs every time.
Yeah, like regardless of. They got a surprising.
Even when they lose, you'll still win 14 out of 17 games in the year
or more
if you're picking the Chiefs.
Yeah, so might as well just not be dumb ever. Or even if you are a little bit, take those sometimes, and then you actually get favor if you're wrong those times, because then you could be like, they should have won.
Yeah, exactly.
And people believe you. We both got it right though, so shout out us for not being dumb. Jets at Steelers.
Alex, this is another one. If I pick the Jets again,
we were both dumb. They acquired Devontae Adams, fired Robert Saleh, and we were just convinced that Aaron Rodgers is God King.
And they looked
King
even
Xerxes
worse
himself.
I blame Graham Hancock. Because they're friends.
There you go. Graham Hancock was the reason the Jets lost to the Steelers.
He wasn't the reason. He was the reason I believed the Jets would beat the Steelers.
Well, Graham Hancock makes me believe certain things. I no longer believe in the Jets. I think I might believe in the Steelers.
Yeah, Russell Wilson looked like he's back to being that guy.
Yeah, maybe he just hated his time in Denver.
Which I get.
Yeah, I might understand. Ravens at Buccaneers, Monday Night Football. Ravens, I
think it's between them and the Chiefs.
They might be the most complete team in the NFL.
Derrick Henry looks rejuvenated.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson's even better.
He's pissed that he didn't run an 81-yard touchdown or 81 yards for a
Yeah, he's
score.
like, I can't believe that guy caught me.
So that's good that you feel like that.
Ravens are good. Lamar Jackson, as you said, Front runner
Buccaneers
MVP.
lost Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, so they're looking down.
Yeah, that was tough for the Bucks. But yeah, Ravens. I think it's between them and the Chiefs, who you would say the best team in the NFL is.
Yep, I went 3-2 for NFL picks.
I went 4-1.
You went 4-1. It was a good week.
4-1. I went 8-6 overall if we include MMA bets as well, MMA picks as well.
Right. I went 7-7. 7-7-1. You went 8-6-1. It was a decent week overall. I'll take it. I went 4-0-1 on bets, ending me up plus 5.55 units on the week.
I went 2-2 in bets. I had Highstead. He obviously that was the one you had as the push.
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't fight, but then I got right. LSU money line. I'm sorry, LSU minus 2.5 points, and the Georgia money line. I got wrong Jets. Fuck the Jets.
Yep.
And Michelle Pereira money line.
Yeah, I got Charles Johnson money line over Suma Durji. Correct. I got LSU money line, Green Bay money line, Kansas City money line because it's dumb if you don't pick Kansas City at this point. I mean, why would you not? Let's go on to the picks for this week. College football, game 1 for us. What are we looking at? Notre Dame at Navy.
Yeah, so we got 5 picks, and they're all 5 ranked versus ranked, which is, I think it's the first time this year that's happened. 5 ranked versus ranked.
It's not often that you get ranked versus ranked.
Number 12, Notre Dame, as you said, 13.5-point favorites over number 24, Navy. Navy 6-0, Notre Dame 6-1, but they've won 6 in a row.
Yep.
A lot of sixes right there. Notre Dame last week.
The number of the beast.
Notre Dame last week went to Atlanta, beat the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech. Navy beat the shit out of Charlotte last week.
Yep.
Navy, this is the best team they've had in a while. I think 13.5 points is crazy.
I do too.
I don't think it's crazy, but I think it's going to be a very close game. I got Notre Dame winning, but I think the way Navy plays, the way they run the ball, I think it's going to be a very close game. So although I picked Notre Dame, I think Navy covers. Or Navy
covers the spread. Yeah.
Covers the spread, yes.
You said it right, or at least in my mind. Notre Dame had that notable win over Texas A&M at Kyle Field.
Then they had the notable loss at home to Northern Illinois.
Right. Riley Leonard had a weird, slow start to the season, but over his past 3 games, he's done a lot better. 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. Blake Horvath has led Navy well, 10 passing touchdowns, but also 10 rushing touchdowns so far this season, so that's pretty impressive. North Dakota, Notre Dame has only allowed 2 games with over 31 points. They've only scored 2 games with over 31 points, but they're only allowing like 13 points per game. I agree Notre Dame's probably going to win, and I also agree that Navy is going to cover.
This would be one I would be happy if I got wrong, though, and Navy wins.
Oh, yeah. On the pick side, I agree. Let's go to the next game. We both agree Notre Dame winning and Navy covering.
Let's go to the next game. It's a Big Ten matchup. Number 20, Illinois, 6-1, 3-1 in the Big Ten. On the road against the number 1 team in the land, the number 1 Oregon Ducks, 7-0, 4-0. Oregon, at home versus the 20th ranked team, is 21.5-point favorites. So minus 1,600 on the money line.
Yeah. Do we ride the Illinois hype train here?
I don't think so. I think this is when, I think it probably will be closer than 21.5.
This is Illinois' 5th top 25 matchup so far this season.
Yeah, but Nebraska was a top 25 matchup when they played them. They're not anymore. Michigan was a top 25 team. They're not really a top 25 team.
So I understand the way that people look at it like that, but they were top 25 when they played them. So
yeah, but the early season polls mean absolutely jack shit.
Sometimes. Anyway, they've held up to everybody but Penn State, where they lost 21-7. Altmaier's been 15 passing touchdowns.
Oregon last week went to Purdue 35-0.
Yeah, you're right.
We talked about it, though.
7 of Altmaier's touchdowns so far this season. I like that. Dylan Gabriel for Oregon, 2,080 yards, 15 touchdowns himself. Tez Johnson catching 7 of those for Oregon.
I think if this game was in Illinois, in Champaign, it would be a lot closer. They have a legitimate chance. Being that it's in Oregon,
I don't think they have a chance, but I think they have a chance to cover that big spread. I think they're a better team than people give them credit for.
I think they have a chance to cover the spread, but I'm picking the Ducks all day. And if you put a gun to my head, I would pick the Ducks to cover, actually. But really? I think it is possible Illinois can have a close game if all things go right for them.
Okay. I also agree Oregon's probably going to win. There's nobody in their right mind that should be picking against a minus 1,600 money line favorite.
Vanderbilt beat Alabama.
I mean, you put $1 or $2 on it, sure, but that's not going to be the one you hedge your life on, I don't think. Anyway, I pick Oregon. You pick Oregon. Let's move on. Missouri.
Number 21, Missouri.
At
6-1, 2-1.
15.
Number 15, Alabama Crimson Tide.
Alabama.
5-2, 2-2. This is the first time since 2007 Alabama's had 2 losses before November, which is insane stat.
But they still have the possibility of,
Yeah, but not if
getting
you watch
in,
them
right?
play. Yeah, they do, but last week, Missouri, a very lackluster performance, but they pulled out the win, fourth quarter comeback against Auburn. And as we talked about earlier, Alabama lost to Tennessee. A close game, albeit, but lost to Tennessee.
So
Alabama 13.5-point favorites, which I think is crazy because they have not been playing very well.
I think
but neither has Missouri.
I think this is that traditional bounce back game though, where like
Yeah,
Jalen
but
Milroe.
we thought that would happen, and they almost lost to South Carolina.
Yeah.
And then they
But
lost
South
to
Carolina's
Tennessee.
been good though.
They beat the shit out of OU this
Yeah.
week. But I agree with you in that I think Bama wins, but I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be an ugly game.
Yeah, I could see that. Missouri hasn't been playing well. Alabama hasn't been playing their best. I think Alabama's going to win. I'm not looking to pick a spread or anything here. I'm not putting any wagers on this. I'm just going for the pick record on this one. Alabama wins. No money line, just a pick.
Let's go to another game where I think it's probably just going to be a pick for both of us. Number 5, Texas, on the road at surprisingly ranked number 25 Vanderbilt. Texas 6-1, 3-1, coming off of a loss. 6-1, 2-1. I'm sorry,
Right.
in the SEC. Coming off a loss to Georgia, as we talked about. Vanderbilt, the surprise team in the SEC, probably the surprise team in the country. 5 wins, 2 losses, 2-1 in the SEC.
So they beat Alabama, didn't get into the rankings. Beat Kentucky, got into the rankings. So it's like, all right.
They beat Ball State last week.
Yeah, that didn't really matter for their ranking
Well,
purposes.
they weren't ranked before that.
Oh, they just got ranked? Okay, I thought it was Kentucky that got them ranked.
But-
All right, so it took them 3 wins just to get to top 25. So I don't expect them to win here, but there was a big surprise.
18.5-point underdogs at home. I think this is going to be the bounce back game we see from Texas. Texas did not start the game well and then kind of caught their footing against Georgia and was pretty even after the horrible 23-0 start.
Right.
So I think Texas is going to come out. They're going to perform well. I think Texas wins by probably 3 touchdowns in this.
Speaking of Vanderbilt, I think it was either UFC Vegas 97 or UFC Vegas 98. The camera panned over, and there was 30 dudes in Vanderbilt polos right after the Alabama win. So I'm thinking that they had a bunch of money line, and they went to the Apex as a fan package for that.
Probably a smart idea.
Yeah, it would be pretty cool.
Vanderbilt's also a private school and very expensive, so they're probably
They already
rich.
had money.
Yeah, so they're probably rich.
Either way, it was pretty cool to see right after the win, just see a bunch of Vandy polos popping up.
But we both picked Texas.
Absolutely.
We both
Why
picked
would you
Vandy
not?
to lose. Let's go to probably the game of the week, in my opinion.
Our game of the week,
Well,
for sure.
this is for first place in the SEC.
LSU at A&M. Kyle Field.
LSU number 8, 6-1, 3-0 in the SEC.
They dropped only their opener to USC.
And then A&M 6-1, number 14th ranked, 4-0 in the SEC. Dropped their opener to Notre Dame. So both teams,
But have really gotten their shit together
both
since.
teams have, and both
Yeah.
teams, they're surprising that they're the 2 last undefeated teams in SEC play
Yeah.
coming into this.
I'm not a big know-it-all of college football prior to this season, but if you would have told me that Texas A&M would have been undefeated in the SEC up to this point, I'd call bullshit.
A&M is 2.5-point favorites at home
I
against
call bullshit
LSU.
to that.
Well, that's pretty much saying it's an even game, which I think is
Yeah.
pretty even. LSU coming off, as we said, probably their most complete performance against Arkansas last week. A&M, they keep winning. They haven't had great performances, except for the Missouri win, where they beat the shit out of Missouri. Last week was a 10-point win over Mississippi State. They've had close games against Arkansas, but A&M keeps winning. I think it's going to be a very close game. This has turned into a rivalry since A&M's been in the SEC for the past 10 years. But
Talking about complete wins though, Nussmeier, he started not slow, but he started. The whole team kind of started not clicking, and in recent weeks they've just been gelling a lot. They've
the
been
defense-
allowing less points, which is very good on the offense because you're not having to score on every single possession.
the defense has turned the season around for LSU, and that's
Really
why
has.
they're a legit contender now.
Nussmeier though, 2,200 yards, 18 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing. He's not throwing the ball away all the time. I think he has 6 interceptions, so he's giving it up more than some of the other top quarterbacks.
He's a gunslinger.
But he's having to throw the ball a lot to keep the games in their position. 31 points to win the game, a lot of cases is what it's taking. So I still pick LSU. I think they're going to go into the tough Kyle Field and beat Texas A&M at home.
Yeah, I picked the Tigers too. Notre Dame proved you can go into Kyle Field this year and win. I think LSU wins. I think LSU wins by like 10 points.
That would be cool. I would like that.
So those are our college football. Let's go to the NFL now, Alex.
Cardinals at Dolphins. Cardinals won off the back of a 44-yard skedaddle from Kyler Murray. I almost said Kyler Phillips. Over the Chargers last week, where the Chargers scored like 9 field goals or something ridiculous.
Yeah, they just could not score a touchdown, 5 field goals.
Yeah,
Cardinals come in as underdogs, 3-point underdogs, plus 145 on the odds. The Dolphins are 2-4, but Tua is supposed to be back.
I was about to say Tua's back, no guardian cap, and no cap. Tua's back. So let's see.
I think this is pretty much a toss-up game, as the point spread tells you. 3 points at home for the Dolphins.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go. I don't trust the Cardinals. I don't trust the Dolphins. So I'm just gonna go with the home team. I'm going Dolphins to win this game.
I like that. Dolphins are 2-4, 1-2 at home.
Both teams are 1-2. The respective.
Yeah, Cardinals are 1-2 away. I think Tua can change the team, especially in the immediate, because him being on the field enables Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. So that's what I go with. I go with the Dolphins to win the game. Next up.
NFC South showdown for first place in the NFC South. The 4-3 Atlanta Falcons, 4-3 Tampa Bay Bucks. The Falcons, 2.5-point favorites on the road in Tampa.
Which I would probably say largely due to those big wide receiver injuries. It's hard to.
But Atlanta is coming off of an ass-whooping loss to the Seahawks.
They are. They are not the best dirty bird right now. The Seahawks looking on fire. Kirk Cousins is a master of fourth-quarter comebacks, and divisional games are always tough. So it's going to be a good game.
I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a close game. But again, much like the last game, although these two teams are better than the last two teams, I don't trust either one of these teams. I don't trust Baker Mayfield. I don't trust Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with the home team. I think Baker has had a couple iffy games where he's turned the ball over in a row. And because of that, he's not going to do it this game.
Okay.
Because I think that's pretty much the Baker Mayfield blueprint.
Yeah, he threw like 2 or 3 interceptions last week.
And then threw 2 or 3 against the Saints.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take the Bucks. I'm gonna take the Bucks in a close game. Yeah, give me Tampa.
I feel like Baker Mayfield's gonna have issues finding people to throw it to that he has trust with and connections with. So I think Kirk Cousins and the Falcons are gonna mount a comeback win over the Buccaneers this week.
All right, let's move on to the next game. The battle of the 2 top quarterbacks picked last year, hopefully.
Yeah, I was about to say it should be. At least that's why we picked this game to talk about previous.
And 2 of the most surprising teams, I would say. The 4-2 Bears, the 5-2 Commanders.
Bears started rough, but has found really good rhythm with his team lately.
And then Jaden Daniels has been that dude the whole time.
Yep, I wouldn't even say fell off against the Ravens. It's just a hard game to win.
He had a good game. He played well.
They contested. It's just, how do you beat Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry?
That's not him. That's the team.
Right, exactly.
He played good.
That's exactly right.
Commanders are 3-0 at home. The Bears are 2-0 on the road, surprisingly. The Bears are 1.5 favorites on the road, which I'm surprised about. I know they have a good defense.
I have to assume it's because Jaden Daniels might be considered, week to week questionable. We don't know if he's going to play. I think if you have a healthy Jaden Daniels, you have that Commanders home field advantage.
Both teams coming off of impressive wins. The Bears in London beat the shit out of the Jags, 35-16. The Commanders 40-7 over the Panthers, and that was with Jaden Daniels not playing most of the game.
Yeah, Mariota stepped in and just didn't skip a beat on the end of that game there.
I'm going to go with the Commanders. Jaden Daniels is my guy, one of my guys. I'm not going to pick against him. I'm not going to pick against his team. I got the Commanders over the Bears. I don't like Caleb Williams either.
I like the Commanders to win here as well. That you're a Caleb's hater?
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah, I'm a LeBron hater, so we all get to hate on what we want. I agree with you, though. I think the Commanders here are going to win. I think Mariota, being that veteran in the room, has actually helped Jaden Daniels a lot more than it shows. And I think that's going to show out if he has to play, so they're not going to skip a beat. I pick the Commanders. Cowboys at Niners next up.
Sunday Night Football.
Cowboys have been absolutely atrocious, scoring 33 points in their season opener. That's the highest of their season so far. They have struggled to get over 25 points since then.
49ers haven't been that much better either. 3-4 right now. They've probably been these are probably the 2 most disappointing teams, along with the Jets, I would say.
As far as money
preseason, going out. Preseason expectations.
Right. If you told me the Cowboys weren't going to win 10 games in any season, I'd be surprised. Like, genuinely. They should be a good team with, their hype always around them. Same with the 49ers, especially with not having to spend any money on Brock Purdy.
I think the Niners are going to figure it out in this game. I mean, I'll never trust the Cowboys as long as I live. As long as Jerry Jones is living.
3-3.
As long as Jerry Jones is living, I'll never trust the Cowboys.
And probably 5 years after that.
I think the Niners are going to figure it out this week. I think they're going to come out at home, Sunday Night Football. They're going to perform well. This is almost a must-win for them. They can't afford to go to 3-5.
3-4 overall, alternating wins and losses over the past 4 games. Not great.
They lost against the Chiefs. It wasn't a horrible game they played. The Chiefs just kind of pulled away at the end.
Bit of a step back for Purdy this season?
Yeah, but I think he still has time to regroup, and I think this is the first step in that. I got the 49ers winning 5.5-point favorites at home.
I agree. I think the 49ers win at home. I think the Cowboys are just shook up right now, and there's nothing they can do about it. Next up,
Monday Night Football.
Last game of the week.
The Steelers might legitimately be a great team. 4-2 with Justin Fields. Then Russell comes back, and he looked like the Seahawks Russell Wilson.
And Justin Fields was benched because Wilson's healthy. So that showed you the confidence.
They had confidence in him.
Up front.
The Giants looking like their coach is probably going to be the next one fired. They're 2-5 right now.
Yeah, Barkley got revenge on them last week. 176 yards.
Daniel Jones looks like he's still not that guy, despite what the Giants thought.
Malik Neighbors is back, though, looking good as ever. Kept making Daniel Jones look better, honestly.
But coming in, this seems like a trap game for the Steelers. Monday Night Football at home, everybody's expecting them to win. I expect the Giants to come out and play very well, but I'm still picking the Steelers. I think they're the more talented team. The Giants are just very disappointing. I think it's going to be a close game. I don't know if the Steelers cover the 6.5-point spread they have as favorites, but I got the Steelers winning outright.
I definitely agree. I have the Steelers winning outright as well. Justin Fields or Russell Wilson seem to be in a better fit in that system. So rock with the Steelers. That's my pick. Let's go to the bets for the week. Or you want to recap all the picks?
Let's recap our picks real quick. I'll go first.
Starting with UFC.
Starting with first, UFC. I'm going to go Max Holloway, Robert Whittaker, Lerone Murphy, Magomed Ankalaev, and Shara Bullet Magomedov. Then I got the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, the Oregon Ducks, Alabama Crimson Tide, Texas Longhorns, LSU Tigers. Then I have the Dolphins, Buccaneers, Commanders, 49ers, and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Nice. I have Shara Bullet Magomedov. I have Lerone Murphy, Magomed Ankalaev, Robert Whittaker, Max Holloway. College football, I have Notre Dame, Oregon, Alabama, Texas, LSU. And NFL, I have the Dolphins, the Falcons, the Commanders, the 49ers, and the Steelers. What about bets? What you got for bets this week?
So bets this week, I actually have a guest bet pick. A guest.
Claire's trying to make you some money.
Claire's trying to make me some money.
Or I guess make her some money, I should say.
Probably make her some money. We got a wedding to plan, so it costs money. So Clara, my guest pick from my beautiful fiance Clara is going to be the LSU money line at plus 140. She saw LSU at plus odds. She said, "Give me that money. That's free money," and I agree with her.
That's how I feel about the Chiefs money line at plus odds.
So we got my beautiful fiance Clara with a guest bet. LSU money line plus 140.
Nice.
Besides my guest bet, I have 4 other bets. I have Shara Bullet money line minus 175. I have the Navy midshipman at plus 12.5.
Excuse you?
I have Navy midshipman plus 12.5 points at minus 110 odds.
Okay.
I have the Washington Commanders money line at plus 110. And I have the 49ers defeating the Cowboys, 49ers money line minus 210. 2 units on everything.
I'm putting 2 units on everything as well. I've got Navy covering Notre Dame plus 12.5. Minus 105 is what I locked that in at. Shara Bullet, Magomedov over Armin Petrosian. Money line minus 175. Lerone Murphy over Dan 50K Ige. Money line minus 260. Dolphins money line over the Cardinals. Money line minus 168. I should stop saying money line twice per
money
bet.
Money
line. And then I got Falcons over whoever they're playing.
The Bucks.
The Bucks money line 142. 2 units on everything. I went plus 5 units last week. Christian went plus 0.82. So we're getting back on the horse. We're digging out of that hole, and we'll be back next week with more picks. What you got for next week lined up?
So check us out. Next week is going to be episode 66. We're going to recap this fantastic UFC 308 main card. We're going to go over our football picks, go over our football bets.
Yeah.
We're going to preview some new football games. Alex, do we have a UFC event next week?
Let's see. November 2nd. It looks like we do, sir. UFC Fight Night Moreno versus Albazi. That's going to be Canada. UFC Canada.
So perfect.
Or UFC Edmonton, whatever they call it.
We'll have UFC too. So we're going to have a full slate next week. Check us out, episode 66.
Peace.